Hear the voice of heaven whispering your name. Step out of the shadows, chosen one, and feel the warmth of a divine light breaking through the heaviest canopy of your dark night. You have been summoned. The creator of the cosmos, the architect of eternity, is extending a hand directly to you, calling you out of the wilderness and into the radiant warmth of his absolute purpose. This moment, right here, right now, as these words wash over your spirit, is not the product of random chance. This is not the cold, calculated mathematics of a digital algorithm blindly feeding you content. This is a divine appointment. This is the precise intersection of heaven and earth, orchestrated from the foundations of the world just to reach your weary heart. You are deeply loved. You are meticulously known. You have been handpicked and called by name for a grand, holy purpose that only you can fulfill. Breathe in that truth. Let the light of this invitation pierce through the thick veil of your current despair. You are not a wanderer lost in the void. You are a prized possession being summoned to the front lines of a glorious destiny. Yet, to reach this profound light, we must first address the profound darkness you have been wading through. I know the secret tears you have cried into your pillow when no one else was awake to see them. I know the silent battles you have fought in the corridors of your own mind, the agonizing spiritual warfare that has drained every ounce of your strength. You are exhausted. You are carrying a weight that feels heavy enough to crush bone and extinguish spirit. The mantle of your calling has often felt less like a gift and more like a crushing burden, a heavy cross dragging you down into the dust of disappointment. Let us speak the truth of your reality, for heaven sees every detail of your pain. You have been walking through a season of absolute, unyielding drought. In your finances, you have watched the well run dry, staring at numbers that do not add up, wondering how you will simply survive the week, let alone build the kingdom. You have felt the terror of scarcity gripping your chest, the relentless anxiety of lack whispering that you will never have enough, that you are destined to be an eternal borrower, never a lender. In your relationships, you have endured the excruciating pain of betrayal and abandonment. You have poured your heart, your loyalty, and your resources into people who walked away when the season changed. You have sat in rooms crowded with people and felt entirely, suffocatingly alone. In your physical and mental body, you are battling an exhaustion that sleep cannot cure. A deep, marrow-level weariness that makes simply waking up and facing the day feel like moving mountains. And worst of all, in your spirit, you have faced the deafening silence of heaven. You have cried out for direction, for a sign, for a shred of confirmation, and you were met with a sky like brass. You thought you were forgotten when the very people you stood by in their darkest hours suddenly turned their backs and walked away without a second glance. You thought you were abandoned when the financial drought stretched on from weeks, to months, to agonizing years, and every desperate prayer for provision seemed to dissolve into the empty air. You thought you were forsaken when the physical exhaustion settled deep into your bones, stealing your joy and leaving behind a hollow shell of the visionary you used to be. You thought you were discarded when the spiritual calling on your life, the magnificent, burning dream God planted entirely in your chest, went completely silent, buried under the heavy, suffocating debris of daily survival. You thought you were being punished when every door you knocked on slammed shut in your face, when every opportunity you reached for dissolved like mist, leaving you standing empty-handed in the hallway of waiting. You thought you had failed. You thought you had missed the mark. You thought God had changed his mind about you. But heaven is here to correct your perspective, right? Now go to the comments and declare this to come into agreement with heaven. I am seen, I am chosen, and my waiting is not in vain. What you have labeled as failure, heaven has labeled as foundation. What you have experienced as devastating delay was, in fact, meticulous divine protection. The great thinker C.S. Lewis once profoundly captured the essence of this spiritual surgery. He said, "Imagine yourself as a living house. God comes in to rebuild that house. At first, perhaps you can understand what he is doing. He is getting the drains right and stopping the leaks in the roof and so on. You knew that those jobs needed doing, and so you are not surprised. But presently he starts knocking the house about in a way that hurts abominably and does not seem to make any sense. What on earth is he up to? The explanation is that he is building quite a different house from the one you thought of. You thought you were being made into a decent little cottage, but he is building a palace. He intends to come and live in it himself. Chosen one, God has been knocking your house about. The people who left your life were removed by the hand of the architect because their character could not sustain the weight of the palace heaven is building in you. The closed doors were blocked by angels to prevent you from settling for a cottage when you are destined to rule from a palace. The delay was never a denial. It was the intense, agonizing, necessary process of root development. A massive tree destined to weather hurricane winds cannot afford shallow roots. God had to take you deep into the dark soil of obscurity, away from the applause of men, to break your reliance on human validation and anchor your identity entirely in Him. Look to the ancient archetypes of your faith, for your story is echoing the greatest triumphs of the spiritual realm. Consider Joseph. Before he ever wore the royal robes of Egypt, he had to endure the darkness of the pit. He was betrayed by his own blood, sold into slavery, falsely accused by Potiphar's wife, and locked away in a suffocating dungeon. For years, Joseph had a magnificent dream of leadership, but lived a nightmare of captivity. Yet, the pit was not his burial. It was his transportation device. The prison was not a punishment. It was his divine university. God was using the cruelty of his brothers to position him directly next to the throne of the most powerful nation on earth. Your current pit is not your grave. It is the very vehicle God is using to transport you to your palace. Consider David, anointed by Samuel as a teenager, filled with the Spirit of the living God, chosen to be king. And what was his immediate reward? He had to run for his life. He spent years hiding in the damp, dark cave of Adullam, hunted like an animal by a jealous, maddened King Saul. David had the anointing of a king but the reality of a fugitive. In that cave, stripped of his dignity, surrounded by the distressed, the indebted, and the discontented, David learned how to worship in the dark. He learned that his strength was not in a crown, but in the shepherd. The delay between his anointing and his crowning was the exact crucible required to forge a man after God's own heart. You are in your cave of Adullam right now. You have the anointing, but you are still waiting for the crowning. Do not despise this cave. It is forging the king within you. Consider Ruth. She experienced catastrophic loss in the dusty plains of Moab. She buried her husband, her future, and her security. She walked into Bethlehem as a grieving, impoverished widow, reduced to gleaning the scraps dropped by other workers just to keep from starving. She endured the blistering sun, the agonizing physical labor, and the humiliating reality of being at the very bottom of society. But her quiet, relentless faithfulness in the field of waiting was setting the stage for a spectacular collision with destiny. God was orchestrating the steps of Boaz, aligning the harvest, and preparing to turn a grieving widow into the great-grandmother of King David. Your current season of gleaning, where it feels like you are only gathering scraps, is setting the stage for a massive, unmerited harvest. God is watching your faithfulness in the small things. Go to the comments and establish this truth in the spiritual realm. My delay is my defense, and my roots are running deep. Look at Nehemiah. He received a massive, burning vision to rebuild the shattered walls of Jerusalem. But the moment he stepped out in faith, he was met with ferocious opposition. Sanballat and Tobiah relentlessly mocked him, intimidated him, and threatened his life. Nehemiah had to build the wall with a tool in one hand and a sword in the other. He was utterly exhausted, spiritually attacked on every side, pushing through the rubble of previous generations. You are building in the rubble right now. You are facing the mockery of the enemy, the spiritual warfare that seeks to break your focus and make you drop your tools. But just like Nehemiah, you are doing a great work, and you cannot come down. The exhaustion is the price of the restoration. You are rebuilding the broken walls of your family lineage, breaking generational curses, and establishing a new legacy. And look to Hagar, cast out into the brutal, scorching heat of the wilderness of Beersheba, rejected, isolated, watching her water skin run completely dry. She placed her child under a shrub and walked away because she could not bear to watch him die. She wept in total agony, believing her story was over, believing she was entirely invisible to the God of Abraham. But heaven opened. The angel of God called to her, and God opened her eyes to see a well of water that was there all along. In that blinding desert, she encountered El Roi, the God who sees me. Chosen one, you may be in a blistering desert right now, feeling utterly rejected and completely out of resources. You may be weeping over the death of your dreams, but El Roi sees you. He is opening your eyes to a well of supernatural provision. Your story does not end in the wilderness. In the midst of your profound suffering, it has felt as though God was painfully silent. Yet, C.S. Lewis understood the divine nature of this silence. He wrote, "God whispers to us in our pleasures, speaks in our conscience, but shouts in our pains. It is his megaphone to rouse a deaf world. The pain of your isolation, the agony of your waiting, the sharp sting of your closed doors. These were not the punishments of an angry God. They were the megaphone of a loving, fiercely protective Father, calling you away from the distracting noise of the world so you could finally hear the precise, life-altering instructions for your destiny. You had to be isolated so you could be insulated. You had to be separated so you could be consecrated. And now the wind is shifting. The intense season of pruning is coming to an abrupt end. The agonizing, drawn-out era of waiting is over, and you are stepping across the threshold into an era of divine acceleration. You are about to experience the suddenlies of God. After years of feeling stuck in the mud, you are going to see heaven move with breathtaking speed. Suddenly, the phone will ring with the answer you have been praying for. Suddenly, the financial blockade will shatter, and resources will flow from unexpected directions to fund the vision God gave you. Suddenly, the divine connections, the kingdom relationships, the people of profound character and unshakable loyalty will be drawn into your orbit. The restoration that is coming will make you forget the devastation of your past. God is not just going to return what the locusts have eaten. He is going to multiply it. He is going to give you beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning, and the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness. You are going to look back at the pit, the cave, the gleaning fields, the ruins, and the desert, and you will fall on your knees in overwhelming gratitude because you will finally see how every single agonizing step was perfectly calibrated to bring you to your throne. Go to the comments right now and declare this final seal upon your life. I receive my suddenly. I am stepping into my acceleration. Stand up on the inside. Shake off the dust of your despair. Wash your face and put on the mantle of your authority. The warfare was brutal because your destiny is spectacular. If this message has resonated with your spirit, if you feel the fire of this calling waking up in your bones, hit the like button and subscribe to this channel right now as a physical act of faith, a stake in the ground declaring that you are partnering with the prophetic word spoken over your life. Heaven is moving on your behalf. The breakthrough is here.